All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Open Source Antibiotics, Friday the 13th of November. And so thanks for coming along. And let me share my screen so that we're all looking at the same thing. So this is the issue I just started on GitHub. And sorry for the delay. I put the recording up for the meeting last time, just this morning. And I edited a little bit of the text here, which I'll copy over to the new issue for today, about some decisions we made on compound design last time, mainly around modification of the para position of that active compound. And I guess we can re-engage with some of that when we do the chemistry slide in a minute. So for just on the screening side, Laurie, you sent in some structures of some compounds there that looked really interesting that you were happy to share. Now, from my naive quick view here, these look great. These are compounds with a kind of pendant amine, which is alkylated, which is the pendant amine was something we wanted to investigate anyway, right? So these look amazing. Are they're available?
Yeah, I double checked. Some of them we don't have very much. So it's going to be a case of scrape out the glass to get the compound. But I think we should be able to get enough to send to you. So I can ship all of these 5. We also have, so this is actually an active part of what we're working on at the moment. So if any of these are actually active or interesting, we can just make sure that we have enough moving forward in terms of, so that we can actually add into your pipeline and go forward.
So are these all active against Trypanosoma cruzi?
These are active against, we have data points against T. cruzi, against L. infantum as well. We also have MRC5 and PMM data in terms of host cells, and we will also have ADME data on these as well. So I can share all of that with you.
That's amazing.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, really interesting. And you're still actively exploring this core.
Yes, okay. And we're also looking at sort of derivations of the core as well. So I mean, you can see with 6729 at the bottom that we've got the substitution even there. We're changing that up as well. I noted somewhere that you said so the 7 substitution versus the 6. So the 6 is what's on 6729. That's just something that we've observed in PMM and MRC5, that actually tends to give us a better selectivity profile. How that actually translates in vivo, I don't know, but we're pursuing more of that position than 7.
Obviously you mustn't say anything confidential, but have you examined toxicity of this core?
In terms of in vivo or
just cellular toxicity?
So, well, like I said, so we've got PMM and MRC5. For some of these, we may have Hep G2, but probably not for these exact compounds, but I could go back and trawl through the database and see if there is any other representative compounds with this core scaffold that have other cell line data as well.
Okay, but so far, it looks like you're exploring this. Again, I don't mean to say anything you don't want to say, but
No, it's fine. I'm happy to share.
Okay, because if you're exploring this core, then as it stands, and you're making more of these things, then you're keeping this bidentate chelating motif of the imidazopyridine.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, that's a good sign, I guess. So our main concern is of that motif. We're waiting on tox data of our own, but yeah, that's what we're concerned about.
Well, I mean, I can have a look. Like I said, I can have a look and see if there's any other tox data that we've got access to, and I can share that with you if there is something
Awesome.
there.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I forget, sorry, Dana, I forget how much we typically needed for Paul's MRSA assay.
2 mgs is plenty. So even 1 to 2 is fine.
Okay, awesome. That's wonderful. Okay, so yes, I mean, the answer is yes, we would love to have samples if you are happy to donate them. I mean, I guess, it works both ways too, right? So, I mean, if you see things that we're making that you would like, then, it's reciprocal.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Very good. So there were some other points about compound design as well, which I'll summarize from last time, but I don't think it's changed in the last week or so, but I'll copy those over from last time to the minutes of this meeting. And then just the update on the cytotox. So I guess those things are being measured in Andreas's lab, is that right? And we're going to be waiting a couple more weeks, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so nothing much to be done then, and we'll have to take it from there. All right, when we can maybe have a look at chemistry, which is any chemistry which has happened this week.
Right, so this week I've just been trying to make this amino benzofuran. So this ligand I've made, that was a pretty nice synthesis. I tried to do this bottom reaction, but I'm not entirely sure if I've got the product. It's not gone to completion, but there's new spots. So I just need to figure out what there is in there. And then the other thing is the compound suggestions from last week. So I think, yeah, so here, just these like top row ones on the left and the methyl isomers. So those are the easiest ones. So yeah, I've bought these 5 bronic acids. So just those couplings, which we can do next week.
Okay, are they coming in? I mean,
they came in yesterday.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Great, very nice. And I guess you have, reasonable expectation that they will go.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I think I used your lab book as a example in a talk I gave yesterday, Ed. I was interested in whether or not your lab book was being, how it was being indexed by Google, and it is being indexed. So Google's finding these molecules, which is good. I think because I searched on the strings and you're putting those in.
Yeah.
Which is really good, but it's interesting that it picks up the INCHI keys that you've got in your lab notebook. You can find those via Google. You come a little way down page 1. It feels like you should be at the top because you've actually made the molecule. Feels like you should have a promotion because of that. But you're there. But interestingly, Google is not searching our OSA molecules spreadsheet. It doesn't see it, even though the INCHI key is there. It doesn't see it, which is
that public?
Weird. I thought it was public. Yeah. I mean, I'm clicking on it and I'm not getting it. I'm assuming it's public.
It may be public, but is it linked anywhere?
Yes, it's the link from the wiki. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe if you submit the wiki page to Google for re-indexing.
I've never done that. I don't know. How do you submit a page for indexing?
You have to have a Google account, basically. I'll see if I can do it for you.
All right, great.
Yeah.
I mean, check, that it's visible because it should be visible.
Yeah.
It's on the wiki. I think Dana installed it on the list of sources of data or something.
Yeah, it may be that you just need to tell Google that it's been updated. All
right. I can't imagine people do that though. I mean, traditionally, sending an email to Google saying I've got to.
No. I mean, there's an app that you use for doing that.
Okay. Wow.
To get them to re-index pages. I mean, pages change a lot. They will index them automatically, but things that change very rarely, they probably don't go and check very often.
Okay. It reminded me though, either Ed or Dana on your lab archives pages, can we have another go at using their chemical sketch tool? Because they are adamant that it works, that if you draw the thing and then you click, put it on the page, it puts the metadata in. So maybe a trial page where you add in a molecule, one of the ones you're using already, and then give it a few days and then try the Google search again, because it would be very useful if that worked. That would be a good check to do. Thanks. All right, good. All right, great. So oh, wait a minute, let me just share, sorry. We can quickly run through the remaining things. So the remaining things, the in vitro PK, I checked yesterday, the contract is still just sitting there, waiting to be approved, and I can't say anything else about that publicly, even though I want to. There is still this residual uncertainty about the units in the original data. So we were going to go back to the original data, right, and check what the units were, and then we were going to resolve this issue. I'm pretty sure there's no issue, but we need to resolve this and get it off our schedule. If we could just take this action on me, but if we just go back to the original data and check the units and then just verify that we don't have an issue. Sorry, that's still on me. Okay. It's on me, so I can't ask anyone else to do it because that would be cheating. Community updates. Dana, you made a video, which is awesome. So it's not listed, right? Were you waiting for it to be approved?
Yeah, I just sent it to you and Ed in case you guys had any feedback before I make it public.
Right.
Yeah, it's about a minute long.
Yeah.
I tried to get most of the important points in there, but that's
So my view of this is that eventually what we do is we spend 30 seconds talking about one very specific thing, and you give a very nice overview of things at the moment, which is absolutely fine. So I reckon you should just go for that and put it out there as a really good starting point. The one thing I didn't see was the captioning. Did you look at that?
I have to go back and turn it on and make sure it's fine, which I haven't done yet, but I will do before I make it public.
Okay, awesome. And then see if I don't know, so then it would be really nice to embed it somewhere if possible. I don't know how you do that, if you can share it and put it somewhere where, social media-y.
Yes, I think when I looked into that when Todd was doing hers, and essentially I can embed it, but then it won't have captions, or I can link it to YouTube with captions.
Okay.
And it's an issue with the caption file type that I was having trouble converting it. So that I could.
I mean, first step, if you're able to put the captions on there, then just tweet out the link or something, and we'll get it out there, and then we can see how it looks when it's embedded somewhere.
Okay, that's cool. I made like one slide, so I saved that as a JPEG, which I can then put in a tweet with the link. Okay, great. Yeah, but really good. Yeah. Okay, cool. Looks great. The newsletter, I want to send out another one pretty soon about the other project that we're doing on the Open Source Antibiotics Series 1 MER ligases. I'll let you send something out about that soon. And this idea of having people sign up for these newsletters is an important one. I haven't had a chance to do that. Does anyone want to volunteer to make a sign-up form? I can do it, but I'm having difficulty. Sure, like just a Google. Yeah, form. So a sign-up form where people say their name and then email, and then yes, I want to receive the newsletter. Okay. And it's a Google form, and then that goes into a Google Sheet, which we can then use as the thing that we use to send things to people. Okay, yeah, I can do that. That's easy. Great, thank you. Yeah, molecular contributions. I guess we haven't done that, but you've got a submission template. Sorry, I haven't got that open. So this was being discussed. Yeah, already. So I started an issue for that with the template, which is an Excel sheet. And then we also had talked about like just an agreement in terms of ownership, which I guess we could also put here and then just direct people to this one page if they want to submit. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that's really good.
I think you suggested the SGC model, didn't you?
Yes. So I think that we should be able to take that directly from them. I'll contact, because I know the guy who wrote that, and so I think we can take it from them and use it for our case. Sorry, that's still on me to do, but that's really good. So the donation spreadsheet has everything we need and it's meant to make it easy for people to send things in, right? That's great. Okay, so that's on me to sort out the license as well. Okay, good, great. Mechanism of action, we got an email from Lee saying that they've done the experiments and they're waiting on the mass spec analysis, right? Was that it? I think that was it. So it's all happening.
Yep. He said, I think they submitted it for mass spec analysis. I think he said 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, I think he did mention previously that that is the part of the pipeline that was backlogged. But then once they do that, I assume that they do a little bit of analysis on it and then we get the results.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. So I think the other things are just, waiting. I think that was everything, right? Have I missed out anything obvious here? I think chemistry's happening, mechanisms of action stuff is happening. Laurie's very kindly sending in some samples. Tox is happening. So I think we're all good. Unless there's anything else that was outstanding. I mean, the one thing about other sources of compounds, so the crowdsourcing of physical compounds, it suddenly occurred to me the other day, actually yesterday when I was doing this talk for the RSC meeting, that we don't have a systematic, good systematic way of doing this about alerting people to compounds that we might need. But there is still some value in occasionally sending out structures on LinkedIn and Twitter and stuff, sending out just simple pictures of chemical structures that we're interested in case that catches the eye of a chemist. So we could with some simple mechanism have a kind of shotgun approach to catching people's attention with structures every now and again. In the talk yesterday, I was talking about the idea of a bot that would send out a tweet with a structure in it and a link to where it was needed, along with its strings. Actually, probably quite easy to write for someone because it simply takes a line of a spreadsheet and then constructs a tweet out of it. I don't think that's very difficult. But we can also see if we can write to contacts we have in companies and so on. Chris, I don't know what your sense is of that, about the best way of trying to get through to people who may have related compounds.
I think if you have personal contacts, it's probably the best way of doing it, and I'm happy to do that for all the people I work with.
So do a kind of internal search that's confidential, but they can tell us if they got something relevant.
That's right. Or yeah, that. The other thing is that I think you may be part of it. This Open Science Network, just posting on there.
Yes, you mean the yes. Yes, I know what you mean. There's some emails. I think that you've been posting some things about meetings there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I have no idea how many people are involved in that, but it's certainly one way of reaching people around the world. I guess one of the things that we would like to do from the Open Chemical Sciences meeting that we had is to have, think about how we could perhaps build some kind of network out of that as well.
Would that include, I mean, in terms of sort of compound searching and finding people who are most relevant to a project, you mean?
Not necessarily just compounds, but software as well. I mean, one of the big bugbears is how do you find a software to do a particular thing? And if it was, it would need to be sort of fairly low maintenance, thing that people could just have an email list or something like this, or some other communication system.
Right. Yeah. Okay. There is the other thing that we've never really gone for is checking every now and again that compounds of this kind aren't also available, that some compounds we might want aren't available inexpensively through commercial suppliers. We did that once for way back in the day for open source malaria with an enamine search. This is now quite common, but back in the day we did a search for enamine molecules and asked if they could give us free a bunch of molecules that were most similar to the ones we were working on. And they obviously thought that was very funny and laughed us away from their doors. But we did eventually buy the 10 most relevant compounds from them. And the price was actually quite reasonable. So I guess
Yeah.
we should always bear this in mind. And now that there are, a couple of search things that are coming up through Manifold and through, I think MQL just released something the other day, which allows you to search for, essentially pitch a molecule and ask for quotes.
Yeah.
So for some simple things, we might hit something. I think some of the scaffolds we're looking at are not trivial, but there may be some things that could be made which look quite similar, which we might want to think about buying rather than investing in some of the synthesis if it's simple. So a search every now and again on some of these platforms would be pretty nice to do, just to keep an eye on what's available.
It would be nice if we had a database with all molecules that have been made by open chemistry.
Yes, that would. I don't know how to do that, but that would be nice. Yeah. I mean, they are, yeah, okay. That would be very good. They are available in the sheets we've got, of course.
Yeah.
So to comb something rather than submit would be useful. Yeah. Okay, good. Was there anything else anyone wanted to raise? Otherwise, we are good. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming along, and see you next week, hopefully.
Okay, that sounds great.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.